Yes, so I was originally diagnosed in 2020, so we're coming up on 5 years in October. Shortly after Cody and I got married, it was about 10 days after I got diagnosed with triple negative, which is one of the most aggressive forms of breast cancer. It makes up about 13% of diagnoses, so it's a pretty rare type. And we jumped into standard care within a week or two after that, and I went through about 1.5 years of standard care treatment, which included chemo, radiation, 2 clinical trials, along with immunotherapy. I did a double mastectomy, and then I did 6 months of oral chemo after that. And that bumped us to about January of 2022. So at that point, they deemed me cancer-free. Cody and I started living life again, getting back into a regular routine, kind of moving forward. It was like we were going to put that behind us. And within about a month or two, I started experiencing pretty severe chest pressure and pain. And so I went back to my doctor, and they pushed me aside and basically said, "You're fine." They were hyper-focused on my heart for whatever reason, even though I kept telling them it was breath-related. So lung related, but they didn't really want to look into what was going on. I think once it does return and come back, they don't have anything for you, so it doesn't really matter if they're able to diagnose you again. But ultimately, after about 5 months, I kept returning with additional issues, and they finally did an x-ray and saw masses in my lungs. And then ultimately that bumped us to about July of 2022 when they found 2 large tumors in my lung, and the original breast cancer had metastasized to my lung. At that point, I was deemed stage 4, which is a terminal diagnosis. And my oncologist basically said that she had given me everything that was available for triple negative. They had tried everything and nothing worked. And they were wanting to put me back on the high-dose chemotherapy that didn't work initially. And that was the only option that she had for me, was to put me back on something that was proven to not be effective. So Cody and I, through lots of working through that news, and it took us a few weeks to get back on our feet, but ultimately we ended up stepping away from standard care entirely and looking at alternative options that gave us a little bit more hope. And we found a clinic in Southern California, which we've spoken to Dr. von Schaeffer on this show before, and she took me under her wing, and basically, her background is trauma surgery, so she's like, "We got to do this now." She saw how large the tumors were. I was unable to basically walk on my own. I couldn't go upstairs.